What do you see down there below you? Look around you. What is the very first thing that pops up into your awareness?
Woods.
Woods. Very good. Tell me about these woods. Tell me about these trees. How do they look like? Short, tall?
Tall. A lot of them.
Are you looking from top or from bottom?
From the top.
Okay, very good. So let's see what happens next. Where do you go? Just allow this scene to unfold and see where it takes you.
A bit deeper, down to the ground.
Very good. How does the ground look like?
Soft, green.
Green, so...
A lot of like moss kind of structure.
Beautiful. Have a look at your feet.
Barefoot.
Barefoot. Do they look male or female?
I think male.
Young or old?
More old.
Older, not baby, not a child. Alright. Let's have a look at your legs and tell me, are you wearing anything on your legs?
No.
No? You're naked?
I think so, yeah.
What color is the skin?
Just like mine, light.
Okay. And look at the rest of your body.
Just more of a male body shape. Not skinny, more like, also not fat, but quite wide. It's like a hobbit thing.
Tell me about it. What do you say that? What did you say the word hobbit? What makes you say that? What do you see?
The feet are like wide and the hands are very big.
So they are a little bit unusually big. So let's have a look at your face and your head and tell me, what do you see? Just trust the first thing that comes and describe it. And the more you describe it, the more clear it becomes.
Curly hair.
Very good.
A bit of like a round face, and the structure is more like also bigger nose, and everything is kind of enlarged or quite dominant.
Is also the head big as well?
It's normal more, but the nose is big. And
do you have hair on your face?
Yes, like a beard.
What color is the beard?
Orange.
Orange.
And the hair too, like
Orange.
ginger color.
Very nice. And your eyes?
Green or blue.
Alright, so you're not wearing anything, right? Do you see genitals?
No.
So how would you describe this area? Because you said you feel male, right?
Yeah, according to just the structure of the bones and muscles, it's quite
masculine.
Masculine, yes. But that genital area, I'm not seeing anything in particular.
Are you holding anything?
No.
Carrying anything in your bag? Okay. So look around you now. Is there anyone there with you in this scene?
No, but I see water, like a stream.
Okay, is it close to you?
Yeah, a few steps away.
And what happens next?
Feel drawn to the water.
Allow yourself to be drawn, to go there. And tell me, what are you doing? What is happening when you go?
I feel a bit resistance, like saying it, but the word drowning comes to me. Even though I would like to just enjoy it and play by the water.
Okay. And what happens next?
I somehow get sucked into the stream and carried away with the water.
By accident or on purpose? What do you feel is
I don't think by accident, because it doesn't feel so dramatic, the energy. It feels more like light and that this is what I want to do. Almost like go on a ride.
And what happened next?
I'm like kind of from this earthy plane and the water being like carried into more of a space. like leaving this earth realm.
You see yourself kind of floating up.
It's the same kind of space. It's not like up or down or somewhere. It's just transitioning in that same horizontal space, if that makes sense.
Okay, and yeah, just keep on describing what are you experiencing.
The color is dark blue and almost black, but not so dark as black. It's like this wide space with lots of little stars.
You feel yourself moving, going somewhere?
No, more like just floating. Again, like the stillness and sense of ease and peace and tranquility, even though there's no ground, no gravity, nothing to hold on to. It still somehow feels comfortable.
It's another kind of peace. And let's see what happens next.
I'm just continuing in this space, and like a vortex kind of thing starts forming.
You're moving towards this vortex?
Feel drawn to it.
So you follow the movement, spiral?
Yes, it's spiraling a bit. And I feel pulled there.
So allow this to take you where it wants to take you.
It's light, so there's this bright light vortex, so just follow this light. But it's a bit like tight, so I don't want to go in. It's not big enough.
But it's inviting? Okay, would you like to give it a try? And see what happens? Alright, let's do it. And just describe me what is happening as you're allowing yourself to move into that vortex and this movement, and what happens next. Just allow the scene to unfold and describe me what happens.
I gain speed and feel drawn to more like a brighter constellation or something in the distance, but I can't see what it is exactly.
So allow yourself to be guided there and go closer enough so that you can tell me more of what you see. You said it's a constellation of stars?
Yeah, just something. It's like a few bright spots.
Like planets, like stars? Okay, so let's go closer.
They're round in shape. 3 kind of almost like moon, just round shaped objects.
Color?
White, and 2 are very close together and the other one is a bit further away.
Does any of them particularly attract you to go closer?
The 2 that are closer together. They're connected.
They're connected? What do you mean?
It's like they're like connected through this energy beam or stream, and they change shapes, but they always stay round somehow, just different kind of round.
So these attract you? You want to go closer?
Yeah, I want to jump in.
Alright, let's do it.
It's like this white, again the white bright light. It's almost like bathing in warmth and something comfortable about it.
Okay, it feels more comfortable. And what is this energy? Is it taking you somewhere? What is happening? How could you describe what you're experiencing now?
It's like this thick, gooey, honey-like texture. It's more thick and heavy, almost like lava.
Do you feel part of it or separate from it?
Part of it.
Part of it. And what happens next?
Trying to swim further through. Now it becomes like these waves of light, almost like a ripple effect, like the ocean. And I'm floating on these waves, just floating on this water of light and this bright energy. But also my body changed. It's not the body in the beginning in the woods. It's again the same energy of light from the beginning. This fluid body, which is not a human body.
Is there any predominant color in this liquid kind of body?
It's white and bright, almost like it's blinding.
Can you shape it? Can you change its form if you want to, or it's one form, one shape?
It's one. It's almost like an ocean out of energy and light, but also deep and vast, and yeah, there's no end.
What do you mean there is no end? Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Just like the ocean, like infinite.
You feel that way, you mean? And what happens after this?
All of a sudden I see a window, and then I look out the window and I see a train, an old train.
An old train?
From maybe 1800 something.
Okay. Color is this train?
Black and red.
You see it through a window, you say? So you're in a room, you're somewhere inside?
Yeah, but it didn't make sense because it just came from space and now it's a room, so...
doesn't matter if it makes sense or not.
Just the impulse of looking through a window.
Yeah, just go with it. And what happens to this train as you're looking at it?
It's just coming in and about to stop. But part of me doesn't want to leave this ethereal realm. Because the train is again the human realm. Feel more comfortable in the other one. More spacious and free and liberated and whole and carefree.
You can always go back to that place now.
Now I'm like in this heavy, extremely heavy structure. Being pulled down, but it's a good kind of heavy.
Perhaps there's something important there for you to see.
Wow, it's just this super heavy gravity kind of pull, but I'm still in space, so there's not going to be any ground. But it's very slow movement, and my whole body, my arms especially, feel so heavy. Yet it's somehow comfortable.
The feeling of the gravity,
even though it's very strong and heavy.
So are you allowing this gravity to take you down?
Just floating around still. Slow.
Alright, so at this moment I would like to ask you to leave that scene. We are now drifting and floating away from that scene. And at this moment, I would like to ask if I have permission to connect to Katarina's higher self.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Do I have permission to ask questions? Okay, so my first question would be about what Katarina just saw, which was not the typical life of what we call past life regression. Can you tell her why did you show her this? How is it related to her and her life now?
To remember.
What were you trying to remind her?
The spaciousness, that there are no limitations.
Can you tell her more about that? Elaborate on what you said.
That there's more to this experience than what we perceive here on earth.
And why is it important for her to see this?
To tap into the infinity of possibilities, and through that attract all that she wants in this life, in the material realm, and through the connection with the infinite, creating from that place, from that limitlessness, knowing that anything is possible and even more.
So you wanted her to have this experience, knowing herself as being limitless, to remember that she really has no limits. Okay, that's very nice. And the same goes for the experience that she had after that, as this liquid kind of being, just wandering around the space.
Oh, what I just said was meant for that space experience. But that human experience before, because it was this masculine body, it's because she perceives her body differently than it is in real and this human life.
What do you mean?
She feels like it's masculine even though it's feminine, and she feels like it's wider and bigger.
Why is that? Why does she see herself bigger and more masculine?
Because of her presence. She has a strong presence, so which takes up space, and so she thinks it's her body taking up space, when in fact it's the soul, the energy taking up space.
And why did you show her that being with this kind of body? What were you trying to tell her?
To tap into that feeling of having a bigger body, and remembering that feeling that she sometimes has in this human realm, but showing that there's a big difference between the feeling and the looks.
How would that help her in her life, tapping into this body, this bigger body?
Allowing her to take up that space that her soul wants to take up.
So she holds back. She doesn't allow herself to take more space. Why not? What is holding her back? Why does she limit herself in this way?
Fear of being judged. Also not being entirely sure about the gifts and how to express them. So with that comes insecurity and this sense of instability, and
So it's time to allow herself to take more space. Is it possible that she has already started doing this slowly, step by step? Because she was saying that she's feeling like she's started tapping into her intuitive and psychic abilities recently.
Definitely. Even more and more. But there's still so much to explore and go deeper.
How can she go deeper?
By letting go of, first thing that comes is the physical appearance, to surrender to that. Try not to control.
What do you mean?
To not strive to look a certain way and for perfection and the humanly perceived perfection.
And why is this connected to her psychic abilities?
Because it clouds. It's like a filter, like a cloud. The full expression cannot come through if there's still thoughts around how she's being perceived.
So she's limiting her own self, she's judging herself. And she shouldn't.
Thinking that others would do, but they don't.
Can you tell her why? Why she should not care about the external appearance?
Because that's not what it's about. It's about soul connection and soul recognition.
And what are her gifts, really?
Helping others heal and awaken, step into their full potential.
To help other people? Is this part of the reason why she's here?
Yes.
Can you tell her more about that? Because she would like to have a little bit more clarity of her mission in this life.
Through that soft feminine presence, listening, holding space, through helping others feel listened to and understood, allowing them to tap into their own intuitive gift and see beyond their own limitations. That can only happen when she goes past her own limitations.
And how can she do that?
Be more fierce, eliminate what is uninspiring, to allow the energy to flow freely and the channels to be open. And it's as long as she's doing work that doesn't inspire her, this part is going to stay clouded and untouched.
So it's important that she does what she really feels inspired.
Yes.
You mean job-wise?
Because this is taking up a lot of energy and headspace.
Yes, and she wanted some guidance about that, because there are many things that are coming up, and that there are many proposals of doing different kinds of things, and they wanted to have this clarity today of what is more appropriate for her, which direction. Copywriting, the Symbiotica project, or something else. What is more aligned with her mission? Where's her joy?
It can be in all of these, but the actual work has to be inspiring. Only certain tasks. The variety of work, like a bit of all these projects, but only the actual work has to be exciting. So for copywriting, it's more the creative writing, less the more scientific work she's doing. And same for Symbiotica, carving out what it is exactly that's exciting about the process of starting it in Germany, not agreeing and committing to doing it all, but getting clarity on what it is exactly that's fun about it, because that's when she will be most successful.
So in other words, what you're trying to say here is that there's no rule or that she should be doing this or she should be doing that. She should just tap into her heart and see what brings her joy and follow that.
Yes.
And also at the same time putting her boundaries and really communicating exactly what it is that she wants to do, what she feels like doing. So it doesn't matter if it would be copywriting or the Symbiotica or anything else. It's more about finding something that excites her and follow that.
And the same with meditation.
What do you mean?
Teaching or guiding, to deepen that, because this is what others need, and she has the presence and this different aspects that bring it all together to touch other souls.
So she's good at it? She should continue?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And how by doing this, following her excitement, can have financial abundance at the same time?
Completely releasing the control, wanting to have control over the outcome, by only focusing on the actual task and the project. And the abundance will flow automatically. As she gives more from the heart, more abundance is flowing. If there's contraction and she doesn't like the work she's doing, then there's also stagnation in the money flow. It's directly connected to that heart desire, heart presence, and that intuitive, that excitement.
Yeah, I mean, I totally resonate, and I know what you're talking about from personal experience. Perhaps I'd like to add here and make a comment if you want, that this doesn't, the abundance, once you tap into your own joy and you start excitement and you're putting it into action as your job, it definitely works. It just, sometimes it takes a little bit of time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that joy, creating from that place of joy and abundance, are directly connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just that sometimes we get confused or frustrated because we are impatient, because we want things to happen immediately. We want to see results immediately.
Yes, and the fear comes in, but there's no space for fear when she creates from that heart space.
Mm.
Doesn't exist.
Beautiful. Does she know how to do that? How does she? Is there anything you would like to advise her regarding tapping into her heart's desire? Is it also what she was trying to say about her tapping into her true essence?
There is a bit of unclarity about that.
Mm-hmm.
Releasing that fear.
Which one?
That everything has to be done.
What do you mean everything has to be done?
All the things that she's doing right now, releasing that grip on these things. It can be less and it can be equally rewarded, or even more if it's done even better, because it's more enjoyable and fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's putting too much on her plate?
Mm-hmm.
So she's pushing herself too much. Is that what you
Yes, but at the same time she's not. She could be more productive doing the things she enjoys. Wasting time focusing on tasks that are not enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. So this would release completely the idea of doing things that she doesn't, that don't longer make her, doesn't fulfill her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So why was she doing that? Was there any belief system inside of her that was bringing her there?
Yes, this ingrained belief that there has to be some suffering around work, and from not having enough, taking on everything that comes her way, even if it's not an absolute alignment.
Where does this belief system come from?
Parents.
So she inherited from them?
Yes.
It doesn't belong to her?
No, because she's a free soul, creative, but that fear around financial security is keeping her from expressing her gifts more, because it's numbing. It's a wall, a barrier.
Oh yeah. So it's like a program that she consciously installed in her subconscious mind as she was growing up. Does she need it? Does it serve her?
No.
Alright, so would you like to now uninstall it from her subconscious mind and just release it, since it doesn't serve her and it doesn't belong to her? Is there any other belief system that doesn't serve her, that time to let go of?
Yes, the belief that she's not deserving of love or relationship that is in eyesight and that same frequency.
Why was she carrying this belief system?
It's this voice that keeps saying she's not interesting enough or lovable and special, coming also from school, because she didn't have good grades in maths, and so it was never good enough, no matter how hard she tried, and so her worth and value would be defined on how she performed in school, and
which shaped her opinion about herself.
And it also manifested in the money mindset. It's all connected.
Of course. So is she good enough?
Yes.
Tell her more about that. What more would you like to share about that she needs to hear today?
That she's done so much work and is just not aware of her light.
She is light, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how can she connect to that light that she is? How can she reconnect to this part of her, which is who she really is, right? Her true essence, and let it fill her completely, and let it also shine
through meditation.
To connect with her true self. With
And a lot of just cultivating a practice more and more, a deeper practice of connected with affirmations and remembering the divinity in each moment through seeing divinity in others, and that way anchoring the light to illuminate the path of others. Boundary setting also, and just continuously checking in with her intuition and cultivating more of that sense, that intuition, which is her guiding compass, that always knows the truth and only operating from that place of what feels good and aligned.
So she was wondering about if something happened at some point that affected her, this feeling of security and safety.
I don't see anything.
So then it's nothing. I guess you don't see something more than what we have already discussed. So we go back to the belief systems that she took her family and her surrounding as she was growing up, right? This like limiting belief systems that.
Yeah, it's the parents.
And the school, right? And what about her food and her relationship to food? What happened to her when she was a child and she developed this strange relationship to food?
It was also my mother who made me feel good when I ate a lot.
He was trying to please her mother? Trying to prove her that this is good? I see. Wow. What a deep unconscious pattern, and expression. Wow. Okay, that makes so much sense now. Is there anything else that you would like to say to her on this subject, and also if there's anything more to say on how to heal her fear around purging once this pattern was created?
She doesn't need it anymore. The purging is symbolic for her violating her own boundaries by wanting to please others, and it has manifested in this relationship with food. But whenever she violates her own boundaries, also subconsciously, it somehow manifests in her body trying to deal with it through food. So the work, and if she taps into more creative expression of herself, and as we were speaking about, doing the things that are fun and following them, that relationship to food will also heal.
Naturally, fall into place, everything.
Because there's no need to hold on to it anymore. It's gone. It's not there. It's not serving.
Beautiful.
And that we release her fear around purging, because she's outgrown that.
Is she here to heal something for herself or for her ancestors?
She's mainly here to decondition what she's been conditioned to do and believe in this lifetime. For ancestors, I don't see.
I would like to bring this
heaviness, just heaviness in general about life, and bringing in lightness and showing her family how life can be lived in a light way.
And that's how she's going to, I guess, how to help others, right? By embodying that, by showing that, being the example of it. And how can she help her parents?
Accepting them the way they are in the first place. Clear boundary setting. While compassionately showing them the light.
Any ways you can connect with them deeper?
Listening.
Without judging, right? Yeah.
Loving them through their differences.
Accepting them. Oh, very beautiful. So I would like to ask if her brother would like to come through, if he's around and he's willing to come through, if he has any message for her today.
She's on the right path.
Is there something that you wish to tell her today? Anything that you think that would be important for her?
I'm here.
You mean you're close to her? Why did you go?
Nobody understood me. Didn't feel part of it because I was different, just like her.
So you decided to leave? So it was not really an accident, as humans we call it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's not in her questions. It's just my myself, my mind. I wanted to ask you if if there's anything you want to share from your perspective now, from being there in that place. Is there any message, any lesson you learned about the decision to live this life and being now over there in that plane?
What's the question again?
I don't know if there's just from your journey from just like deciding to leave and being now on the other side. Any lesson that you learned, anything that you think would be useful to share with your sister?
I wouldn't have done anything differently. I just didn't have the opportunities to express myself the way that you can. So I can now live through you. That's why we also look alike.
Yeah, because you said she can see herself, you in her sometimes.
Yeah. I had a family very young and responsibilities, so there was no space for me to express myself and my creativity and my desires and needs. But now you do, and you did have so much more freedom than me.
So you think it's good that she hasn't made a family yet, no children?
Yeah.
She's more free.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice for her as you see her from that perspective? Anything you learned, anything you want to share with her?
To just continue exactly as she does.
So she's on the right path.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. May I again connect with her higher self?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much for allowing and orchestrating this communication. I think it was. I think she's really going to appreciate it. It was important for her, right? There was a part of her that needed to make this reconnection. Thank you. And I would like to ask now a little bit about relationships and her love life. And let's start with Nick. What's the purpose of this relationship with him?
It's healing, showing each other where there is work to do.
That's why it's challenging.
Yeah.
How can she stay in alignment while in this process?
Constant tuning into her intuition, that gut feeling, boundary setting.
Boundaries again and again, right?
Yeah, that's the most important. That's her biggest lesson with Nick, is to come back to her own boundaries while being compassionate and deepening her sense of compassion towards him and his process, and loving him through his challenges and his growth process while maintaining her boundaries.
So that's one of the things that he's teaching her, quote unquote.
Yeah. What it means to just love a soul rather than the role that they're supposed to play, but seeing him for who he is, and his essence is pure. It's just his patterns and shadows and conditioning that have brought some dirt and darkness into his life that he's becoming more aware of now. But some of them are either unrecognized yet, or just so deep that she might have to exercise her boundaries even more.
So do they have more healing together, or it's coming to an end?
She has learned her lessons. There is more for him to learn.
So she learns fast. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's possible that they don't really need to be together for much longer. What would you like to say to her about that? She wonders. I see. Okay, so he's not the one that is gonna stay with her for the rest of her life.
If he's choosing to learn and grow fast, they have great potential.
Okay, so nothing is really predetermined in this in that way. Okay, because she was also wondering if in general she had made a plan to be with one partner or with many or several.
There is this divine union, the idea of dancing through life with one other soul, and there will be other souls coming and going, but there is this one soulmate kind of relationship where there's so much growth and expansion to experience together.
And so what would be the ideal relationship for her, if there is such a thing?
It's not set. It's not defined by a concept. It's more of energetics, deep love and reverence and devotion and commitment to each other and each other's growth. And that's the only concept.
Okay, so this is a part of her that is more dynamic. That it's not.
Yeah.
There are no shoulds. It's just unfolding, not organically.
Yes, embracing a connection
Mm.
for what it wants to be in each moment.
And there is one question about the abortion that she had. She felt she didn't really connect to that soul in some way. She was not emotional about having the abortion. Is there any connection that she has with this unborn child? Or
No.
what was this all about? What was the message or the lesson from that experience?
There's no connection. There's nothing unresolved.
Nothing she should worry.
No.
Okay. So it was a good decision that she
Yes.
didn't bring it in this life
Yes.
at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she followed her intuition and she did the right thing.
Yes.
Very good. And the fact that she was not emotional about it, how would you explain it to her?
She can be detached from events or people or circumstances if they don't bring value to her life and to other people's lives, and that was such a thing.
Okay. So she was very clear and she just didn't tap into the drama.
Yes.
Very good.
It's all about clarity and alignment and truth.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't rejecting something, it was more choosing her truth in that moment. So it was not a no, it was more of a yes towards herself.
Very good. So that's one example where she really listened to her intuition and set her boundaries, right? So she shouldn't feel any guilt, right?
No.
Absolutely. About practicing this more, right? I want to go back to her relationship with food because I'm scanning her list of questions and I don't know if we addressed this. She was asking if there is a past connection with her relationship to food.
I sense something, but it's unclear. Maybe there was a time when there wasn't enough. The word starvation comes to mind.
I had the same exact same thought when we were discussing the questions before.
Don't have a specific image or scenario in mind.
Okay, so it sounds like it doesn't need more information, but it sounds like it's related to a past life where she died from starvation or something like this, so it's kind of being carried also.
Could be, yes.
Alright. Okay, but it's good that we bring it in the surface because then she can release it, right? Okay. What about the recurring dream that she had as a child of these birch trees? Was there any meaning behind this?
She's somehow connected to the woods. There's the strong gravity, the strong pull.
And that was the first thing that she saw today as well.
And that strong gravity and pull when she was floating in space was that same pull that she felt when she had those dreams. So there's a connection to it. She should spend more time in the woods.
So she has a connection with the trees?
Do
you want to tell her more, or you want to let her discover it herself?
There's some wisdom she needs to explore and witness herself.
And how can she do that? How can she connect with the trees?
Sing to them.
Okay, that sounds like for me it's like the first step. She starts the communication, and this will open up this channel, and she can then receive from them as well.
Yes.
Okay.
It's her language.
And why is this connection important for her? Why is Her reconnection with the trees is important.
Because they ground her. They represent grounding. So deeply rooted in the earth.
And she needs that?
Mm-hmm.
Why? To have this security?
Mm-hmm.
This safety?
Yes, it helps her stay grounded while she explores her creative gifts and creates from a place of joy and pleasure. To not drift off into worry about these worldly material things like money and the safety and stability that comes with that. Spending time with trees will give her that needed grounding.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful. And I would like now that you have a little look at her physical body. I want that you scan through her whole body. And I want that we focus now in the neck area. Just go into that area, go around this area, just scan the whole space there, and tell us, how does it look like?
It's from her playing small and making herself small and not stepping into her full power and her gifts, and this is the physical expression.
She's shrinking herself.
Whenever she's in misalignment, this is how it manifests.
So as soon as she allows herself to take space, the space that she can take, this tension, this discomfort will go away. Okay.
Yes.
And what about the tension in her lower right abdomen? Can you scan this area and see, why is this area tense?
The area feels like it wants to contract and protect itself.
Let's go deeper into that. Protection of what?
From male energy. It's the most sensitive spot in her body. Just imagining someone touching that part, placing their hand on that part, feels vulnerable to her.
Why? Why that place?
That's where she's storing the past experiences of violating her own boundaries, not respecting her pace and her worth and her goodness when she was younger. That's where her body chose to store it.
I see. And could you tell us a little bit more about why or how is it connected to male energy? Can you explain that?
Because of her past behavior when it came to allowing physical intimacy, seeking attention and validation through that. But she's outgrown this since a long time. This protection is unnecessary. She can protect herself through her boundary setting now. So this physical, energetic trauma can be released.
She doesn't need it any longer?
No.
Okay. Is it something that you can release for her now?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So please just go ahead and do that. Would you like to describe us what you're doing while you're doing it?
Directing my energy to that area and envisioning the energy to just dissolve and spread throughout the whole body. This light that dissolves the tension and the knot and the distended feeling of contraction.
Is it done? Is it released?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. And how can she stay connected to this part of herself that we are connecting now? How can she stay connected in her day-to-day life to receive this guidance and have this clarity?
Through meditation, presence with others, eye contact, being more selective with the people she surrounds herself with, while being careful to not be too judgmental and exclusive towards people who might not seem to be on the same wavelength in the beginning, but there's a lot to learn from most people we encounter.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.